Sure.
Hello folks, Wolf Ninja here, and I am back with another discussion video. This is part 2 of the Rogues. And sadly, it looks like I'm going to have to do a part 3 video, folks, so look forward to that at some point. There are some things I forgot to go over in my part 1 video, such as the 3 added role-playing things to a rogue. Guilty pleasures, adversaries, and benefactors. Now again, you do not have to take any of these options, but they're added in just so that you can add a bit more role play into your character. Now, here's an interesting quote from I don't know what D&D book, but it's a quote of someone. People forget that the entire point of venturing down into the dusty tomb is to bring back the prizes hidden away there. Fighting is for fools. Dead men can't spend their fortunes. Clearly, this is a quote from a rogue who is literally like, "Hey, I just want treasure, you know. We can't benefit from the gold if we're dead." And I feel like there will be moments where L would probably agree with that type of sentiment. Am I correct, Mark?
Yeah, no, I think you more or less are.
So, okay. Now, let's see. Now, these are things that the rogue is probably going to be drawn to, or things that he cannot resist. Obviously, most of them are going to be tied into stealing, but let's see what they are. You can roll a d6, folks, if you want. Or you can just pick one. Large gems, a smile from a pretty face, a new ring for your finger, a chance to deflate someone's ego, the finest food and drink, added to your collection of exotic coins. So these are things that your character could either collect, or he has, like, some that he will always desire. For example, he might be a huge flirt, which means, a smile from a pretty face is an easy way to draw his attention.
We actually talked about this, like when you first got the Xanatar's Guide
Yeah,
as
yeah.
well, and there's one in particular there that I think L absolutely takes.
That was the smile from a pretty face, correct?
No, that was the deflating of somebody's
Yes, yes, yeah, yeah. Yeah, definitely.
Although if I was able to, I think I would take the pretty face one as well.
Now, in terms of adversaries, folks, this is someone that your character could either be competing against, or someone who's actively trying to capture or kill your rogue. It could be another thief. It could be a captain of the guard. Again, it's it could be a fun role playing situation of, hey, in this town, for example, L is from Neverwinter. So now L technically already has his adversary in a sense, but.
Yep.
But that was sort of more developed outside, like after the campaign began. These are normally recommended to keep in mind when you're making your campaign or making your character. But anyway, the following options are: a pirate captain whose ship you once served on, what you call moving on, the captain calls mutiny. A master spy to whom you unwittingly fed bad information, which led to the assassination of the wrong target. I'm sorry, folks, for the background noise. My brother was just taking away some toys before his dogs chewed them up. Mark, you had a dog. I'm sure you understand.
Yeah, no, I get it.
The master of the local thieves guild who wants you to join the organization or leave town. An art collector who uses illegal means to acquire masterpieces. A fence who uses you as a messenger to set up illicit meetings. The proprietor of an illegal pit fighting arena where you once took bets. All of these can add a really amazing role playing, especially if your campaign revolves around one city. If you had to pick any one of those adversaries, who would you have picked?
Ooh, I'd actually pick the Thieves Guild owner one. That's a pretty good one.
Yeah.
Because it would also tie in with the whole deflating somebody's ego as well.
Yeah. Now, obviously, L has his own little adversary, who sadly who actually caused something that he himself is regretting, and as a token of honor or whatever, he gave you a list.
Yeah.
So yeah, your character actually has his own little adversary, as well as, in a sense, more of a competing way as well, with the form of who's also sort of his mentor, Loyal.
Yeah.
Because I imagine Elle would probably want to, be loyal at some point. The whole story of the student overtakes the master.
Yeah, we'll see how it goes.
Oh yeah. Now, mind you, they do have a very good relationship, though. So maybe adversary is too strong of a word.
Maybe.
Now, benefactor. Now, these are people that obviously trained you or pay you for your services. A smuggler who kept you from getting caught but lost a valuable shipment. In doing so, now you owe that person equally valuable favor. A beggar king has hidden you from your pursuers many times in return for future considerations. A magistrate once kept you out of jail in return for information on a powerful crime lord. Your parents used their savings to bail you out of trouble in your younger days, and now are destitute. A dragon didn't eat you when it had a chance, and in return you promised to set aside choice pieces of treasure for it. That would have been so perfect, considering Elle's obsession with dragons. That last one, Mark, you still with us? Sorry, folks. Seems like we might have lost Mark. I'll keep moving on. A druid once helped you out of a tight spot. Now, any random animal you see could be that benefactor, perhaps come to claim a return favour. Mark, hello.
Yeah, I'm still here.
Okay. I asked you, it's a shame that we didn't have this book when you were making your character, because the the fifth benefactor would have been very interesting with Elle's obsession with dragons.
Yeah, no, I agree with that.
Okay, now, folks, they're all the things you can use to enhance your role-playing for your character and enhance your backstory. Now, I'm not going to be talking about the Zendikar Guide's archetypes yet. We'll be talking about the other archetypes first from the Player's Handbook, as well as one homebrew one that holds a special place in my heart because two of my players have picked it, and one of them is using it, and I'm looking forward to seeing its ultimate potential. And that is the Ghostface Killer.
Yeah.
So I'm just going to open up my Ghostface Killer PDF right now. Actually, I believe Ghostface Killer actually came from 3.5, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, I think you're right about that.
Yeah, it came from an early edition of D&D with some new twists to it. I've made my own significant twists to the type. Let's see. We'll read about. We're going to read some of the lore that the person typed up for the Ghostface Killer, which I'm glad they did. And then we're going to talk about my slight variation of the Ghostface Killer. And then, Mark, again, I want your real opinion. Which one do you think is more fun?
Yeah, no problem.
Okay. Now, the Ghostface, depending on who you ask, are either an order of assassins or spectres of death itself. The members of this guild preserve ancient techniques passed down through generations, by which a man becomes a spirit, and how that spirit can kill. Inducted members are given porcelain demon masks of ghostly white to hide their identities, and their first mission to slay a man in broad daylight and escape invisibly into the air. Okay, so that is the PDF's version of the Ghostface Killers. Now I've done my own tweaks. For example, there is an organization of there is an organization of assassins that do use these special porcelain masks, but the masks themselves are also magical. They're not just simple ways of hiding identity. What I decided to do was the ghost-faced assassins got their power by going onto the ethereal plane and making a deal with a bunch of spirits known as hollows. And yes, folks, some of you that are anime fans can probably see where this is going.
Yeah.
And once you don the mask, the wearer or a person being inducted is brought to the ethereal plane, where they must make a deal with a hollow. This hollow will take on the wielder's face with some slight color variations, and your mask will actually shift into a unique design, and you become bound to this hollow. So, and this gave the Ghostface Killers their abilities. Now, an interesting story was coming up for L. I'm not sure how many people have saw the Lunar Guard Adventures with the crime or the trial, but L was put up for murder. He was framed for murder, and after a short one-on-one session with L, of my character visiting him, my character decided to attempt to make a deal with the Zentarum in trying to arrange his release, or at least to arrange him being proclaimed innocent. It came at the cost of 20,000 gold pieces, and it came with a price that L would have to serve the Zentarum permanently. He was given a choice between two masks: the mask of the Faceless Men and a rumored ghost-faced killer mask, which actually took the lives of several would-be wearers before he placed it upon his face. Now, the Faceless Man mask did not come with a class. It would have just been a magical item. Well, a semi-cursed magical item. Whereas the Ghostface Killer mask would have changed L's archetype, and has changed his archetype from Arcane Trickster to Ghostface Killer. Now, Mark, from do you like the slight additions I've made to, like, the slight edits I made to the Ghostface Killers?
Yeah. For the most part, I actually really do. I think it's a definite risk having like another NPC that kind of has like authority over the character, but I think you handle it really well.
Mm-hmm.
So a lesser DM would have a lot of problems with like problem players, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
Getting them to do stuff, but like I said, you're handling it well.
Yeah. Again, it's not that he has total authority over you.
Yeah.
It's similar to like a deity. Like it's the way I see it is the Ghostface Killer archetype in my world is very close to that of a cleric. Like a cleric makes a deal with it doesn't. Oh, sorry. A god decides to give a cleric their abilities. If that cleric decides to go against the god, why would the god keep giving the cleric the powers that will help it go against them?
Yeah, I get you.
So, like, this hollow gave you your abilities. So if you if you're being rude or disrespectful to it, or being an asshole to it, why would it keep giving you the abilities?
Yeah. No, that being said, like, I am being an ass to my on purpose, just because
and he
didn't know what he was getting into, and it's part of the arc.
Oh yeah, and he made you pay for it, like by making you stab yourself, which you came close to resisting, like, in all fairness. So alright, let's get into the actual abilities of the Ghostface Killer. First is Ghost Step. Now, there are some changes. I'll get into some of the changes I'm thinking of making to this class, because it seems a bit lackluster. I might be wrong. Some of you may comment that I made a mistake, but we'll find out. First off, at third level, when you choose this class, you get Ghost Step. As a bonus action, you can become invisible until the beginning of your next turn, aka 6 seconds. You can use this feature a number of times equal to your charisma modifier, a minimum of once. You regain all expended uses when you finish a long rest. Now, I made arrangements with L, so that, well, I keep saying referring to your character. I made a deal with Mark, saying that he can expend multiple uses at once to get like a larger time frame if he wants to use it outside of combat. which seems pretty reasonable. Now,
Yeah.
let's see. What's your charisma modifier at this point now? I believe your charisma modifier is a +3.
Yeah.
Oh, there it is. There's your token. So you can use it up to a maximum of 18 seconds. Or 6 seconds intervals.
Yeah.
That's not the bit I was referring to. Now, at level 9, you get Ghost Sight, which allows you gain the effects of see invisibility at all times. Now, in my world, in order to gain your powers, see, remember folks how I talked about it's not a porcelain mask that you're just simply wearing? This is a again, you were probably able to see this coming from a mile away once I mentioned the spirits hollows.
Yeah.
But in fact, when you get this mask, the mask that you placed on your face breaks apart and is replaced by a new mask. And this mask, as a free action, can be summoned. Very much in a way of a certain anime character who had the powers of a hollow. So yes, in order to use any of these abilities, you have to call forth your mask. So Ghost Sight, in order to use Ghost Sight, your character has to be wearing his mask. Now, here's the ability that I believe is the one that I'm planning on making edits to. Starting at 13th level, as a bonus action, you can step into the Border Ethereal until the beginning of your next turn. During this time, you can move in any direction. If you move up or down, every foot of movement costs an extra foot. You can see and hear the plane you originated from, but everything looks grey and you can't see anything more than 60 feet away. While on the ethereal plane, you can only affect and be affected by other creatures on that plane. Creatures that aren't on the ethereal plane can't perceive you and can't interact with you, unless a special ability or magic has given them the ability to do so. You ignore all objects and effects that aren't on the ethereal plane, allowing you to move through objects and perceive them on the plane you originated from. When the duration ends, you return to the plane you originated from having moved the same distance as you did in the border ethereal. If this will return you to the same spot as a solid object or creature, you immediately are shunted to the nearest unoccupied space, and you take force damage equal to twice the number of feet you have moved. After you use this ability, you must complete a short or long rest before using it again. Now, for me, because this is called True Ghost Step, I would actually rather it be using the amount of times as your Ghost Step. How do you feel about that, Mark? As an actual player.
Well, I feel like this is the part where like Ghostface Killer really starts coming into its own as like for you like its uses. So I think that's actually fair. Even if it's only like a couple of seconds, like being able to pass through pretty much anything kind of makes this really like super like powerful.
So no, what I mean is, how do you feel about me giving it the same amount of uses as Ghost Step, rather than the simple short or long rest version?
Oh yeah, no, I agree with that. I'm fine with that.
So you think so you agree with me that it's a bit odd that it's called True Ghost Step and yet it can only be used once, as opposed to Ghost Step allowing you to use it multiple times before.
Yeah, no, I agree, because it's like technically your character is just using like the stuff that he's known, but he's taking it a little bit more advanced.
Oh yeah, sorry. Ghost Step is actually not per long rest. It's not per. I actually misread Ghost Step. Remember, you only regain your expended uses of Ghost Step when you finish a long rest.
Right.
Yeah, whereas then True Ghost Step, you can only use it once, but you regain it. You regain it at a short or a long rest. So Ghost Step, despite apparently being the weaker version, you can use multiple times. You can only recharge that during a long rest. So the way I see it is, at level 13, yeah, you, once every hour you could possibly go into the ethereal plane and move around and fly there and go through walls. But you can't become invisible. You can do all that once every hour, but you can't go invisible for like multiple times per in between short rests.
Yeah.
That seems a bit odd to me. So one of the biggest changes, if I did not edit, I probably would not edit True Ghost Step, but I would definitely edit Ghost Step to at least recharge at a short rest.
Yeah.
Now that I'm reading them in their entirety, because that is really weird. Ghost Step is supposed to be the weaker version. Now I know you can use it multiple times. You can use it to a maximum of your charisma modifier, which at most will be 5. And the chance of you using all 5 during a short rest is very unlikely. But again, they only last 6 seconds per use.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it just seems really odd that the weaker version of an ability
comes later.
Yeah, like it takes longer time to recharge than the stronger version of the ability takes a shorter time to recharge.
Yeah.
So yeah, in my games, Ghost Step is recharged on a short rest, since True Ghost Step can only be used once per short rest. Wow, that's really weird. Now anyway, the coup de grace, like your final ability of Ghostface Killer, is the Dread Strike. Beginning at level 17, you can make a devastating attack that frightens the targets to death. When you make an attack against a creature that can't perceive you, you can designate the attack as a dead strike. If the attack hits, the creature is frightened and must succeed a wisdom saving throw, a DC equal to 10 plus your proficiency bonus plus your charisma modifier. On a failed save, the creature takes 6d6 psychic damage. Creatures immune to fear automatically succeed this saving throw and are not frightened. Now, I actually talked to another friend of mine before, and we both agreed that Dread Strike should be tied into your Ghost Step.
I'd agree with that.
As in, like, before you can, like, not only do because the way it's written now is if they can't. It's not that they're surprised. Actually, it is clearly tied into being invisible or using your True Ghost Step, because it doesn't say surprised or alerted. It says perceive. So therefore, if you're hidden, say you're on top of like a building and you decide to shoot a creature down with an arrow, technically they're going to be surprised and they're going to be alert. They're not alert to you, but they could still perceive you if they simply looked up. So to me, Dread Strike is very much tied into either you being invisible by some means, a potion or whatever. So you have to be completely unable to be seen, regardless if you're hiding or not. Which is cool, because again, True Ghost Step will definitely allow you to close that distance.
Yeah.
And again, with the way I rule Ghost Step, being enhanced by multiple times, I'll probably do the same rule for True Ghost Step for you, Mark. That while you're on the ethereal plane, you can expend another one of your uses of Ghost Step to further push for more time. But you have to actually first use True Step. It's technically counted.
Yeah. I have to be in True Step before.
Yeah.
I can do it.
Yeah, so you can't say, oh, I'm going to expend. You can't say before you go into it, oh, I'm going to spend two charges on my Ghost Step to have 2 rounds of True Ghost Step. No. It will have to be done on the ethereal plane.
Yeah.
Which, again, opens your character up to much more utility.
Yeah.
Alright, now, you said you wanted to talk about where you might take your character. When I talked about your character eventually going out to steal shit during downtime, you actually said you wanted to, once we got into the archetypes, you wanted to get into...
Yeah, well, that's... where I wanted to tie it in is, he is a killer, okay? So, the whole thing is, this mask is, pushing him to, kill stuff. And, the way most thieves might put down like a little sort of memento that like, hey, I was here. El would like to do that with what he kills. So I was thinking that at some point, like when like the people you've given me the list of that like El that killed El's family, he's going to basically be carving like the mask that he has as a Ghostface killer into their faces because these guys they're faceless men. So he's going to give them that face as like his I don't know his mark or whatever.
Damn!
Yeah.
So you went. So were you planning on being? Sorry, I have to ask. When you first made your rogue, were you planning on being a thief?
I like I said, I wasn't sure.
No,
the whole thing is like that was actually very much a throwaway character at first.
Okay.
I didn't know how you.
Okay, as you further got into him though, like before you became a Ghostface killer, were you planning on being like that flamboyant thief that would leave like a calling card?
Yeah, more or less.
So you went from that to after you get your revenge, becoming a contract killer.
Possibly.
That leaves a carved face in your victims.
Yeah. Like once again, I can't knock it down because look how much the character has changed already from like when I initially made it.
True. Sorry, but it's weird going from thievery to killing and carving up people's faces. it's a large step, man. Like
Yeah.
instead of taking
Hey,
instead of taking a step, you took a ghost step.
I thought you might enjoy it.
Oh yeah, it's gonna be interesting because again, remember of how you became a Ghostface killer was because you were framed for murder. Oh wow. Wow. Oh god. I'm gonna want to talk to you in more depth about this.
Yeah.
But we're gonna put that into a box. We're gonna take it, put it in a box, and put it aside. We're gonna that deserves its own video at some point.
Okay.
We're gonna move on to the other archetypes. Wow. Moving on. Alright, okay, what is the first archetype we're going to be talking about? Let's see here. Oh, okay, Thief is the first one that comes up. Actually, I will do Arcane Trickster. Oh, wow. Okay, I was because if we did it in order, then after Thief is Assassin, and I'm gonna save Assassin for a bit. Just move away from that area for a bit. Okay. Right. Arcane Trickster, folks. A more friendly type of rogue. Now, the Arcane Trickster is a rogue with a dash of wizard. Here's what it describes as. Some rogues enhance their fine-toned skills for stealth and agility with magic, learning tricks of enchantment and illusion. These rogues include pickpockets and burglars, but also pranksters, mischief makers, and a significant number of adventurers. To be honest with you, it's the one archetype that I see the most of when it comes to rogues.
Yeah, same.
It's a little. To be honest with you, when you first picked it, don't get me wrong, like it felt perfect for your character. But at the same time, I felt a little bit disappointed because I was like, wow, another Arcane Trickster. You know, everyone goes for that. Like that's why I was thrilled when I saw Vex from Critical Role go into Assassin. Like he was an Assassin one. Actually, I don't think he was an Assassin. I think he was a thief. Well, either way, he was not an Arcane Trickster, and I was like, yay, finally! But okay, folks. Now, you're a very weakened caster for an Arcane, in terms with the Arcane Trickster. Your maxed spell level is 4. That is less than even the Paladin. The Paladin goes up to 5th. You know, folks. So you're not casting very powerful magic. Now you start off with three cantrips. You start off with three cantrips. One of them has to be Mage Hand. No choice. One of them has to be Mage Hand, and you get two other cantrips of your choice. Now, when you reach level 10, you get an additional cantrip, so giving you a total of 4. In terms of spells known, here's where you differ from wizards. Wizards have spell books, which they can collect all other spells. Arcane Tricksters, not so much. You just get a max number of spells that you can possibly know. And now, each time you level up, you can swap them out. But the thing is, once you reach level 20, you have to have like your list finalized. You start off with 3 spells, and at level 4 you get that goes up to 4. Oh, sorry, no. You start off with 3 spells. That goes up to 4 at level 4. Then at level 7 it goes up to 5. 8 it goes up to 6. 10th it goes up to 7th. 11th it goes up to 8. 12th it goes up. 13th it goes up to 9th. 14th it goes up to 10. 16th it goes up to 11. And then at 19th it goes up to 12. And then 20 it goes up to 13. See what I mean, folks, about no order when it comes to some stuff, like, or pattern. Like, how easy would it have been to, like, your spells known to follow a pattern? You know what I mean? Like, that was just that was awkward.
Yeah, it's super awkward.
Okay, now the spell slots are less awkward. You start off with 2 first level spells. At level 4 you get 3. Then at 7th you get your 4th. You only get a maximum of 4 first level spell slots, folks. So that's when you cast a first level spell, you can only cast 4 a day. Then you get access to your second level spells at level 7. You start off once again 2 spell slots, and then once you reach level 10, you've reached your max, 3 second level spell slots. Then at 13th level, you get access to your 3rd level spell slots. You start off with once again 2, and then once you reach level 16, you reach your maximum again, which is 3. And last but not least, your 4th level spells, you get access to 19th. And that's it. You only can cast 1 4th level spell a day. Let's compare that to the wizards, folks. Right? Let's see, wizard here. Fast forwarding. Okay. A wizard can only cast at level 20. A wizard can cast the same amount of first level spells as a arcane trickster, the same amount of second, the same amount of third. But here where it gets different. We can cast, when we reach level 20, we can cast 3 4th level spell slots. So we can cast significantly more than you guys. And we can go beyond 4th level. We go up all the way to 9th.
Yeah.
Again, that the Arcane Trickster does not shine here. Now, let's continue on. There are areas where the Arcane Trickster does make use of his limited magic. You get Mage Hand Ledgerman. Now, this is a boost to Mage Hand. So the Arcane Trickster can do stuff with Mage Hand that other casters can't. When you cast Mage Hand, you gain to make you make a spectral hand invisible. So Mage Hand is now invisible, and you can perform the additional tasks with it. You can stow one object the hand is holding in a container worn or carried by another creature. So again, you can pickpocket. You can put objects into other people's pockets very easily.
Like you can frame people for pickpocketing other people.
You can here we go. You can retrieve an object in a container worn or carried by another creature. So again, you can put stuff in, and you can take stuff out. I don't know why I didn't mention the take stuff out first, but okay. You can use your thieves' tools to pick locks and disarm traps from a distance. You can perform one of these tasks without being noticed by a creature. Oh wow! You can perform one of these tasks without being noticed by a creature if you succeed a dexterity, sleight of hand check, or contested by creatures wisdom perception check. Okay, so alright, fair enough. So yeah, basically with Mage Hand you're automatically caught. There's no checks the wizard can make to avoid being caught. But an Arcane Trickster can make a check to be uncaught. And in addition, you can use your bonus action granted by your cunning action to control the hand. So during combat, you could, while you're trying to do stuff, like say for example in combat, and there's a lever that can activate like environmental hazards, your character can use your mage hand while it's invisible to pull levers and shit and press buttons.
Yeah.
So the enemy,
Pretty sweet.
so yeah, the enemy will not be aware of it. So normally, if a wizard tried doing that, an enemy might, on the wizard's turn, he'll be using his action to move the mage hand over to the handle. The enemy would see it. He'd be like, "Yeah, I can see you trying to fucking pull that lever. I'm gonna move." Whereas with the Arcane Trickster, yeah, keep monologuing, bad guy, keep monologuing. You're right underneath the chandelier. Pull.
Nice.
Yeah. Also, at 9th level, you get Magical Ambush. If you are hidden from a creature when you cast a spell on it, the creature has disadvantage on any saving throws against the spell this turn. Hold on, folks. So basically, you can impose disadvantage on creatures with your spells. At 13th level, you get Versatile Trickster. At 13th level, you gain the ability to distract targets with your Mage Hand. Again, all comes down to Mage Hand. As a bonus action on your turn, you can designate a creature within 5 feet of your spectral hand created by the spell. Doing so gives you advantage on attack rolls against that creature until the end of the turn. I can just picture your Mage Hand just, tapping someone's shoulder.
Yeah.
They look away and then you stab them. Now, I think this is the ability. The next ability, I think, is the one that you were talking about. That allows you to cast a spell that is not from your spell list.
Yeah.
It's called Spell Thief. At 17th level, you gain the ability to magically steal the knowledge of how to cast a spell from another spellcaster. Immediately after a creature casts a spell that targets you or includes you in its area of effect, you can use your reaction to force the creature to make a saving throw with its spellcasting ability modifier. Sorry, I'm getting a message, folks. It's really distracting. Oh god, I'm still getting a message. The DC equals the spell DC. On a failed save, you negate the spell's effect against you, and you steal the knowledge of the spell if it's at least first level of a level you can cast. But it does not need to be a wizard spell. So yeah, that means a 5th level spell you cannot steal.
Yeah.
It doesn't need to be a wizard spell. For the next 8 hours, you know the spell and can cast it using your spell slots. The creature can't cast a spell until the 8 hours have passed. Once you use this feature, you can't use it again until you finish a long rest.
It's still really handy.
Oh yeah, it's still pretty cool. Like, you're literally stealing, like, the fact that they can't cast it means you're literally stealing the knowledge from their mind.
Yeah.
Okay, Mark.
Yep.
Do you, which of the two, which archetype would you have preferred? For which path would you have preferred L to go down?
That's actually a really tricky question because there's like pros to both, and both are really fun to play, in my opinion. Honestly, I kind of place more emphasis on like role playing than mechanics in games.
Of course.
So and that's like half the reason. Like when you were telling me about like the Ghostface Killer one, I was just like that one, so much role play potential.
Okay. All right. In terms of mechanics, then.
In terms of mechanics, I actually like how versatile Arcane Trickster is. It like even though like we can't get to like the higher levels of spells, it still has a lot of uses. Just because like in my opinion, any magic class has like shit tons of uses that you can use.
True.
Yeah, like overall, I think from a mechanics point of view, I think Arcane Trickster is really fun to play as. But from a role-playing point of view, Ghostface Killer.
Okay. All right, folks. We're going to now move on to the other archetypes. The Thief next. As you know, I like to do it from Player's Handbook and then Zenithor's Guide. Actually, let's see how much time we have left for the second part, because I like to keep these videos. Okay, we have enough time for possibly 2 classes if we don't get bogged down in discussions. Now, let's go on with the Thief. You hone your skills into Laracius? Goddamn D&D and your words. I need a thesaurus.
I don't know that word either, so...
Oh, you're looking at it as well?
yeah, I've got the Player's Handbook.
What? Larserenius?
Yep, nope, can't pronounce that. No, I'm gonna try.
Okay. Burglars, bandits, cut purses, and other criminals typically follow this archetype, but so do rogues who prefer to think of themselves as professional treasure seekers, explorers, delvers, and investigators. Investigators, really? Okay. In addition, improving your everything is a criminal, and then then investigator out of nowhere. In addition, improving your agility and stealth. You learn the skills useful to delving into ancient runes, reading unfamiliar languages, and using magic items you normally couldn't employ. Yeah, this is definitely this is not Vex from Critical Role. He was an assassin. I feel like I feel like he got an auto crit at some point because of assassinate.
Yeah.
But anyway. Starting at 3rd level, you can use your bonus action granted by your cunning action to make a dexterity sleight of hand check, use your thieves tools to disarm a trap or open a lock, or take the use an action object action. So again, in combat, you wouldn't normally be able to try and use your thieves tools to disarm, open stuff, or whatever. But this allows you to be like, okay guys, hold off the enemy, I'll get this done. You know? Allows
sounds about right.
Yeah, it means you're focused. You know, you can focus on your work. Now, here's a fun ability. Second story work. When you choose this archetype at 3rd level, you gain the ability to climb faster than normal. Climbing no longer costs you extra movements. In addition, when you make a running jump, the distance you cover increases by a number of feet equal to your dexterity modifier. Now, this is really cool now, because when it comes to climbing, there's very few races that have a natural climb speed. For example, a Tabaxi being one of them. A Thief Tabaxi would not really get many abilities from second story work. At most, the running jump is a bit better, but they're missing half of that ability. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because they have a climb speed of, I think, 40 feet. And if they don't move for a minute, and if they haven't moved for a minute, they can double their movement speed. So, yeah, a Tabaxi can climb pretty much regardless of their archetype. Now, here's a good one. Supreme Sneak at level 9. You have advantage on dexterity stealth checks if you move no more than half your speed on the same turn. Pretty good, especially with the ability.
Yeah, that's nice.
Yeah, like if you say if you're not, you want to take a hide action. Oh, there's a chest. Sorry, there's something that you can hide behind. Oh, move half my movement. Use your cunning action to take the bonus action to hide. There you go. You now have advantage. Here's a cool one. At level 13, you have the use magic device. By level 13, you have learned enough about the workings of magic that you can improvise the use of items even when they are not intended for you. You ignore all class, race, and level requirements on the use of magic items. Now, I have not once seen...
That's awesome.
Yeah, but the thing is, though, I have not once seen an item say... besides the items that our friend Blue has made, the legacy items, he has ones that have, a level requirement to use, certain abilities of them. But other magic items, I've never seen that. Like the boost.
I feel like that was an ability that was made with homebrewing in mind.
Yeah, maybe. I've definitely seen some that have class and race, though.
Yeah.
But yeah, that'd be really cool, because that means, as you know, that my favourite magical item that he made, the Sight of Souls, that has a requirement of a wizard with the Necromancer arcane tradition. that means he can use that straight away, and
Yeah.
straight away you'll be able to make skeleton warriors,
Nice.
and you'll be able to enlarge them. Like you ignore level requirements.
Yeah, which is pretty sweet.
So wow. Now level 17, which I believe is your last ability with Teeth. Is it? Yes, it is.
Yeah. Yeah, it is.
Thief's reflexes. Starting at level 17, you have become adept at laying ambushes and quickly escaping danger. You can take two turns during the first round of combat. Take your first turn at your normal initiative, and your second turn at your initiative -10. You can't use this feature when you're surprised. Wow, so that you can use that as many times a day you want.
Yeah, that's awesome.
In combat heavy encounters, that is really powerful. Now, folks, that is the end for the Thief. I think we have enough time to for the assassin and a bit of opinions of the vanilla archetypes. You focus your training on the grim art of death. Those who adhere to this archetype are diverse hired killers, spies, bounty hunters, and even specially anointed anointed priests trained to exterminate the enemies of their deity. Well, in all fairness, though, we actually did have a player who was building that type of character.
True.
Stealth, poison, and disguise help you eliminate your foes with deadly efficiency. This is my favorite. Folks, if I was to play a rogue, it would be a tie between assassin and Ghostface Killer. Just for thematics. It'd be a hard choice. It's a hard choice for me. You get bonus proficiencies with this class. Instead of getting 2 abilities like the others, you instead get bonus proficiency and an ability. Trust me though, one of the abilities is enough. When you choose this archetype at 3rd level, you gain proficiency in the Disguise Kit and the Poisoner's Kit. Both very effective, especially when you include the exotic weapons PDF that I have, where you have the Assassin's Creed Hidden Dagger, because coat that thing in poison, put on a disguise, bing bang boom, like you probably assassinated someone. Anyone who's played Assassin's Creed knows how OP the poison. Once you unlock poisoned darts or whatever in Assassin's Creed, that's it. It's a game changer because you never have to fight. Now, here's the ability, and this is why I say, with Disguise Kit and Poisoner's Kit, even with a normal dagger, forget the Hidden Dagger, but even then, the Hidden Dagger is only a D4. It's no strong. Its only advantage is it can be hidden. That is it. Compared to a normal dagger, so you don't even need a Hidden Dagger for this. This next ability is what I'm referring to why Disguise Kit and Poisoner's Kit and a dagger is possibly all you need. Starting at 3rd level, you are deadliest when you get the drop on your enemies. You have advantage on attack rolls against any creature that has not taken a turn in combat yet. In addition, any hit, and I repeat, any hit you score against a creature that is surprised is a critical hit.
Nice.
Auto crit, folks. So let's say a basic poison, a d6. Okay, that's putting that. This is putting you at 3rd level. Okay, so at 3rd level, that's 2d6 poison damage. A dagger, 2d4 damage. So you're at 2d6, 2d4, and also safe to say you're going to get your sneak attack. So
nice.
At 3rd level, that is 2d6 becoming 4d6. So that's 6d6 and 2d4. And at level 3, you could possibly have like a +1 dagger, or a dagger, for example, like L, who deals an additional d6 of elemental damage. So, boom, that's another fucking 2d6 right on top of that.
Yeah.
Yeah, folks.
Pretty awesome.
Yeah, it is. Now, mind you, though, this ability, even though you get at 3rd level, is why I would love to go like a full level into Assassin, so as a rogue, because that 10d6 that we were talking about earlier Boom. 20d6.
Yeah.
Okay, now here's another cooler feature, folks. Now again, the rogue, this class is really great for those that love to role play and who are looking for like again. You may not be like you don't have to be an evil or criminal assassin. You could be like an assassin who's trying to do good. There are so many characters that use like ninja assassination work as for good guys. For example, Assassin's Creed. There you go.
Yeah.
But anyway, infiltration expertise. This is where it gets really fun, especially for role players. Starting at 9th level, you can unfailingly, and repeat, unfailingly, which means you cannot fail, to create a false identities for yourself. You must spend 7 days and 25 gold pieces to establish a history, a profession, and affiliations for an identity. You can't establish an identity that belongs to someone else. For example, you might acquire appropriate clothing, letters of introduction, an official-looking certification to establish yourself as a member of a trading house from a remote city, so you can insinuate yourself into the company and other wealthy merchants. Thereafter, you adopt the new identity as a disguise, and other creatures believed you to be that person until an obvious reason not to. There you go, folks.
Yeah.
That is really good. Like, and again, the biggest fun I can imagine a person having with the assassin class is, now again, I could be wrong. It depends on what type of campaign DMs are running. But in a one-on-one game, if you're playing like a game between you and a friend, or you are both playing characters, the idea of you playing like a team of assassins, like, again, criminal or not, like evil campaign or not, to me, an idea of me and a friend being like a duo of assassins, seems really fun.
Yeah, it seems like it has a lot of potential in it. Yeah.
Yeah. Or like, it seems absolutely amazing. And also, like, even in a normal in sandbox games, it's even better because because again, like, for example, with L's reputation is practically ruined due to his framed murder. But if he had this feature, he can just start over completely. And again, okay, let's get to level 13 now. At level 13, you gain the ability to unerringly mimic another person's speech, writing, and behavior. You must spend at least 3 hours studying these 3 components of the person's behavior, listening to speech, examining handwriting, and observing mannerisms. Your ruse is indiscernible to a casual observer. If a wary creature suspects something is amiss, you have advantage on any charisma deception check you make to avoid detection. So, yeah. Again, outside of combat and in a sandbox setting or in a private game, playing assassin could be really fun because you can, like, the DM could set you up with all these, intricate. Again, if I had a person, for example, if I had anyone who was being like an actual contract assassin, for example, with L, I'll probably have to create like a random assassination works for him, like.
Yeah.
But I could have a lot of fun with that. I'd be like, okay, here's your target. And again, they will get increasingly, more and more difficult to the point where he may have to do, months of prep work. Like with this type, with the assassin, let's forget Ghostface Killer. With the assassin, you'll be following your target. Or you might find, okay, he's a recluse, and he's having a banquet in a month. Okay, I'll impersonate a noble person. Okay, you find a noble person who's invited to the party. You watch them, you study them. Okay, come the night of the party, you knock them out. You take their disguise, you take all the documents. You use your infiltrate abilities to get yourself as a profession as a carriage driver to bring them, or as a bodyguard to bring them to the party, right? You get to your target. You quickly then take out the person, use your imposter ability to get close to get into the party. You see your target, there you go. So like, again, it'd be fun like to have all this sort of like, time, like a reason to give you a use of playing like the proper like assassin that would take time and planning.
Yeah.
Now here's your last ability as this one as of this class called Death Strike. Starting at level 17, you become a master of instant death. When you attack and hit a creature that is surprised, you make a Constitution saving throw. DC 8 equals DC 8 plus your Dexterity modifier plus your proficiency bonus. On a failed save, the target takes double damage of your attack against the creature. I remember now. I googled this. Death Strike stacks with the auto crit.
Oh wow.
Okay. Let's do the maths, folks. Okay, I'm opening up my calculator. Okay, we're going to forget. Let's say you're using a basic dagger. Okay. A basic dagger. By what level? 17. By level 17, you would have a +3 dagger. Let's say. Let's not give it any elemental damage. Okay. Let's just say it's the most basic of magical daggers. A +3.
Yeah.
Okay. That means max damage. Okay, so a +3 dagger, that's 2d4, that's 8, +3, that's 11 damage so far. Let's add your sneak attack now. That is. Okay, that is 10d6, 20d6, max damage 120. That puts you at 131. Okay, folks. Now again, this is if all things go according to plan, okay? Like you manage to score like your highest damage, okay? Now, let's double that because of fucking Death Strike. 262 goddamn damage. Okay, let's take the worst possible scenario now. Okay, so again, 250 over 250 with a rogue. Okay, let's do this now. Okay, 5 damage from the dagger. Lowest damage output, okay, that's +20. I believe, from your sneak attack. Because you roll 10d6, you roll 20d6, and if each of them rolls a 1, yeah, that's 20. So that's bare minimum. Okay, so that means bare minimum you're dealing 50 damage. Folks, again, let me repeat this. Even if you roll the worst roll of your life as a rogue assassin at level 17 with a +3 dagger. Again, we're not counting any magical augments to your dagger, like 1d6 fire damage or whatever, right? Bare minimum, with Death Strike, if they fail, that creature is still taking an automatic 50 damage. So your damage range with an assassin level 17 goes from 50, and I repeat, 50 to 262.
Yeah, assassins don't mess about. They want you dead, you're getting dead.
Yeah. Like, wow.
Yeah.
Again, I would love to play in a sandbox style campaign. Just again, like just for the sake of playing with a DM that would create like if I'm playing a contract here, like he would create like full on contracts. Now again, my DM in my Saturday night game is doing something like that. For example, luckily he's not broadcasting the game, so I'm not allowed to talk about it. I have a contract worth 50,000 gold pieces, but I have to assassinate the entire royal family of a city of Amman.
Nice.
Oh yeah. Now, my DM said if we had more time with the campaign, he would actually have created more intricate assassination works, sort of like along the lines of like Skyrim or Oblivion. Where you had like there's some conditions to the kill. Have you played Oblivion?
Yeah.
Do you remember how there was that contract where you had to make it look like an accident?
Yeah, I remember.
And you had to use like the moose head. Like you had to go behind the wall and like you have to wait until the guy sits on his chair.
Yeah.
That was a fun mission. I also liked the mission where you were invited to a dinner party and everyone was on your hit list. and you had to, and you could come up with like interesting ways to assassinate each one without the other noticing it, until they all became paranoid. There you go, folks. My next door neighbour's dog has had to been put out the back, and my dog's heard her, and it's getting close to spring. So guess what that means? But yeah, Mark, I'm probably gonna have to end the video very soon now.
Okay.
I'm not gonna expect you to stick around for another hour to do the Xanatar's guide, but okay. From vanilla rogue. This is including the archetypes when I say vanilla rogue. From the player's handbook. How would you? Actually, I want to ask you a question now. As someone who's playing a rogue and who has now done this video with me. In the Lord of the Rings party, okay, would you agree that in the Lord of the Rings party you can pretty much assign nearly every member of that group into a D&D class? Would you agree?
Very nearly, yeah.
Okay, for example, like Aragorn being a ranger, Boromir being a fighter or paladin, and then obviously Gimli being a berserker, a barbarian.
Yeah.
Now, would you agree with me that Legolas is a rogue?
Yeah, I'd agree with that.
No, it's just because I've gone to discussions with others before, and they all say, "Oh no, Legolas is not a rogue. He's a what's it called, a ranger."
No, but Aragorn's the ranger.
Yeah, but you can have more than one. Like for example, you can have the hobbits I would put into around rogues as well, but obviously not like the really high ones. Except for Sam.
Yeah.
Except for Sam. Sam is a fucking cleric. He literally carried fucking Frodo like. Like when I say carry, normally that is in the sense of, like, hey, if it wasn't for me healing you, you would have been dead. No, he actually carried him at the end of the movie.
Yeah.
And he was so selfless. Anyway, that's why he's also a cleric. But yeah, another thing is the weapons that Legolas uses, particularly the daggers. Sorry, what people call swords, they're not swords. For those that read the book, they're actually called long knives. And
Nice.
what's another name for a long knife?
A dagger.
Yes. But yeah. But oh wow. So all right. From reading all this out, would you say Rogue is definitely a class that you would recommend to someone?
Yeah, I'd recommend it. It's like if I'd say I'd call it like the medium difficulty of D&D. Like you have to think about it, but not as much as you would like Wizard or other classes.
Oh yeah.
It's a nice transition-y class.
Yeah. Now, mind you, though, I imagine we can both agree what is the learner class for D&D.
Yeah.
Fighter.
Absolutely.
Fire is definitely easy difficulty. Now, don't get me wrong, like, there are some bits of fire that makes it really stand out, but in terms of classes to learn to play D&D, fire is the easiest.
It's the easiest to wrap your head around.
Yeah. Mind you, though, oh wow. Again, I forgot about how lethal a rogue can be. Like,
They always do.
like, especially the assassin, like...
Yeah, honestly, in our first game, I was really, really tempted to be an assassin, but Brian was got there just before me, and I hadn't decided on the archetype at the time, so I was just like, I'll let him have it. I'll choose Arcane.
Well, in all fairness, though, you're now a different type of assassin.
Yep, true.
Right.
Very true.
Oh yeah. But yeah, like again, those are mundane assassins. You know, like,
Yeah.
they don't use magic, whereas you're the assassin that uses magic to get to your target.
Yeah.
So now, in all fairness, though, both targets, a target of both assassins would not see it coming, because the assassin would have disguised himself, and he would have like a different identity, so you would not even suspect him, whereas your character would appear out of nowhere.
Yeah.
The only problem is though, if your character is demasked and his identity revealed, that's it for you. Whereas for the other assassin, oh, I've been exposed as an assassin. Okay. New background.
Yeah.
New identity. Wow, my dogs are really going at it. Because of, cause of the other dog next door, like.
They are not happy campers right now.
Oh, no, they're not. Anyway, thank you for joining me today.
Yeah, no worries.
I will probably take a break now, folks, and then do the third-part video soon. But I might take this time to go back to do the Ranger third-part video. It's just that I wanted to quickly get Mark in here now to do the Rogue Cause. Again, I would like to do interviews with the rest of the Lunar Guard party, ask them how they feel about their classes and archetypes, and preferably why they chose that in the first place. I'm glad to see that you're starting to really enjoy this character, despite the fact that you made the character just to experiment with the rest of the party.
Yeah. That's how I roll.
And I'm looking forward to creating possibly contracts for you.
Yeah, should be fun.
But I do have plans for you anyway. Oh, plans upon plans upon plans. Which is why I struggle sometimes to keep up with these videos, because I am DMing way too much. Alright folks, this is Wolf Ninja signing out. May the force be with you, and remember, roll for initiative.